You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Polo and Tell, is that you?
Mic check. Mic check, waifu. Tell, is that you?
I might do a shadow clone jutsu on you. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
I might do a shadow clone jutsu on you. I'm feeling good, man. How you doing?
I'm solid, man. You know, it's been a busy week.
Oh, don't I know it? We're going to talk about that. This is episode 76 of Mic Check Waifu. Brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure you go to lubecomplex.com and use that offer code waifu to save on your entire cart. It's also brought to you by our Patreon producers, Monique Williams, Treesus, Explicitly. Go to explicitly.com, as well as Connor. Thank y'all so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We appreciate you so much. Today, we got a lot to talk about, but before we get into, I got a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, how's this? I guess technically it's the start for Black Friday for you and me, huh?
Yeah, bro. Black Friday is not my jam.
Yeah,
and I think if I am successful as I want to be, this will be my last Black Friday. We're gonna see.
Hey, you work hard at it. Work hard at it. And get out of it.
How about you? How you feeling?
Same. I mean, for those of you that don't know, both me and Tel work in the line of retail. I do asset protections for Target. He does Best Buy. What is it? AT&T sells?
Technically, I'm the AT&T expert, but I sell like every damn thing in the store. I'm me.
Yeah. So, with everything going on in the world with the whole COVID situation, Black Friday is set up a little bit different for the both of us. It starts off with week sales. So this week, our sales literally started today. And the way we did it is we set up Black Friday everything on Saturday, which means that I worked from I think it was 2:30 to 11. And then I had to go back at 5 a.m., which means that when I got off at work at 11, I laid in the bed until 3 because I couldn't fall asleep because I was wired up from working so damn much. Got an hour of sleep and then went into work. So I'm a little exhausted. I took a nap, but I'm still feeling it. If you're watching the video version, which you can catch 2 weeks early on patreon.com/miccheckwaifu, you see the bags under my eyes. Shit look rough. That shit looks awful. But yeah, it was, and then there was 7 people in line. I did literally days worth of setup for 7 people to just be lined up outside.
They built a whole ass warehouse in the middle of our store.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because Best Buy still sell DVDs and shit.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I get it. People still buy DVDs. It's kind of wild to me.
It's true.
But they built a warehouse in the middle of our store that has Amazon Fire Sticks and TVs,
all the shippers and shit.
Yeah, all that stuff, and just it's for picks basically. When you got to pick items and customers who come to do out of the store pickup or all that kind of stuff. Or curbside pickup is what it is. But yeah, bro, we didn't have any lines or anything like that. Because I'm pretty sure they still prepping for lines, right? Now, here's my thing, right? Is I was just talking to Monique about this because I find it hilarious that since we've opened up the store to the public, we have not had a single week without an employee being out for COVID.
Same.
And I don't just mean an employee being out because they have a cold, because if you have a cold, even if it's not COVID, you can't come to the store.
Out, right.
You can't come to the store just for the fact that if you have a cold and you get COVID, it's whatever, right?
Right.
But we have not had a single week with all of our employees able to come into the store because of COVID.
Yeah.
Now, my department is typically super clean because myself, my manager, and the other employees in my department are constantly wiping down after every single customer like we're supposed to. We actually follow the rules, right? We try and social distance. We try and we got glass up, the plexiglass up and stuff that.
Oh yeah.
And we use it. Now, customers still get close to us sometimes because we literally, some of us work with phones. I'm selling like smart home stuff all the time too. So I ain't got a choice but to get close to people.
Right.
But it's just kind of, I don't know, bro. I don't know how this is going to work. Like, am I going to have to tell them to have a seat, and also you can't get too close to the other customers because it's about to be wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just tired of it. I'm ready for it to be over. Luckily, all I gotta do is worry about. Yeah, true. All I gotta do is worry about it. It's Friday now, and I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I'm off tomorrow, which is technically Monday from the day we're recording this. But
let's go. Look at you with off days and shit.
I'm excited about it. But yeah, this is an anime podcast. I promise. We talk about anime.
We talk about our life every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while. We also have a bonus podcast or, early access to videos on our Patreon too. So check that out. I just want to give this completely random shout out because to be honest, I haven't been paying too close attention to like what we've been getting on our like Twitter in terms of followers and stuff. We hit 500. We're almost like at 530 followers on Twitter. It came to a surprise to me because again, I really don't pay attention to the follower count. I love the natural growth of our podcast and our socials. So I appreciate everybody that joined us recently for as far as the listen goes. Again, we stopped paying attention to the listener count as well, and that's also increasing. So we appreciate y'all for just listening and rocking with us. We just been enjoying doing this and enjoying like communicating with y'all on Twitter. It's just been a lot of fun. So I just want to say I appreciate y'all for that, for joining us and rocking with us. If you know somebody that isn't into anime and you enjoy this podcast and you think they will, share it with them. We'll appreciate that. And review us on iTunes too. That'll help us out a lot too for getting that natural growth. All right. So into some anime. If you don't mind, I would like to start off.
Do your thing, brother.
With two things.
All right.
Okay. I've been continuing to watch Strike the Blood. For those of you that pay attention to my Twitter, I finished season 1 and I finished season 2 and I started season 3. The show is interesting still. I like it. But the main show I wanted to talk about is a show that I watched like 2 episodes of, and it was too much. I watched this around the time I watched Clannad, or like actually like 2 years later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do. It was when I was on my break from sad anime. I'm like, I can't do this shit. So I turned it off. But it was Anohana. I watched that. Boy, I don't think since we rewatched Clannad, I don't think I fucking cried as much as I did since that rewatch of Clannad. Clannad still is worse, but this was like holy fucking shit, man. It's I ain't gonna no cap. I was Justin Timberlake and crying the river, bro. It was fucking insane. I'm like, holy shit. Because I remember watching the first few episodes. I'm like, okay, this is sad. Already can tell. Don't want to do this right now. Put it down. Never picked it back up. And every time I see somebody talking about it, I'm always like, yeah, that's too much sadness. I don't want to do that. So I did it, and it was too much sadness. It was exactly that. The show is fantastic though. Through and through, like one of those. I guess you can call it supernatural slice of life that is just fucking killer.
Yeah.
From jump. And if I'm just gonna throw out a rating without doing the full thing, I'm giving this like a 9.5. Like easily.
Damn.
Maybe even higher. It's so fucking good, dude. It's so good. And it's just too much.
Like it's too much, like it's like almost like sad like Clannad, or is it just
it's
an actual really good story?
It's 100% sad like Clannad, and the story is really, really good. The story is so it doesn't do the what we talked about last week with our topic with how stories, progress in different ways. This does the point A to point B through line. And interweave some like situational stuff that happened via flashbacks or the past. And the way they do that, the way they intertwine it is so fucking perfect that it bewilders me. And this is one of the shows that do side characters so good to where you hate certain characters. You just fucking hate their guts. But then you start to love them. It's like, it's so good. It gives you that attachment that you just don't get in a lot of anime. like the attachment you had to the Clannad characters, to be honest. But I can't believe it took me so long to finish this show, and I'm glad I did. The dub is fantastic. It had a lot of characters in it that you would recognize for like as main characters in other shows that you enjoy. And there's a movie of like, but what the way it is just like kind of a recap of the season. But I want more. It's not ever going to be more because this shit came out in like 2011. But it's so good.
Does it give you like a good ending though?
It's relative, man. If you consider it good, I guess, but it's also just fucking pure sadness, you know? It's that kind of good.
Yeah. So it like, okay, I get it.
You want me to give you a slight premise?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a breakdown, brother, because I want to know, but like you trying to avoid the spoilers.
Yeah,
so
I really want to avoid the spoilers. I really do want you to watch this. Like, watch this with your waifu, and watch y'all fucking both be holding each other crying. It's about a group of kids who grew up together. Basically, they were a part of a they called their little kid crew. You know how we back in our high school days, how we had the Ox Squad.
Yeah.
They had I think they call it. Oh shit, I can't remember it. I think they call it. Fuck. I'm gonna look this up because I don't want to get this wrong. It's right here. They don't say the name of it here, but they were like a group. They just called themselves a group of kids who wanted to be heroes, essentially. And a tragic event happened with one of the friends in the friend group, which causes the friend group to literally go their separate ways because of how the incident happened. I can just say this because this is literally from the very start of the show. One of the kids died, and everybody in that friend group literally split apart because they all blame themselves for exactly what happened. And they go through like a different, a character arc or growth that is crazy because of how they split apart. There is one character that is the exact same. You always have that one character that kind of slowly brings everybody back together, but the main character becomes a shut-in because of the situation, because he feels like he should take the most blame for the passing of their friend. But there's also like a supernatural element to it because the one that passed away is essentially following him around like a ghost. Essentially, he's the only one that can see or hear her. And
oh god,
yeah, and he has to kind of deal with that situation and going through it. The group of friends kind of like try to confront the guilt they have with how everything went down, and it gets heavy. It gets so fucking heavy that I don't know.
What is the name of this one again? So I need to go ahead and add this to my list.
Please watch it. It's called Anohana, the flower we saw that day. Yep.
The flower we saw that day.
Truly a special show. And the animation is beautiful, especially for 2011. It's only 11 episodes, 22 minutes a pop. At 11, I can't believe it's only 11 episodes. I feel like I've been with those characters for literally 82.
I watched like a long running series.
Yeah, man. I watched it all the way through in one night. That's how good it was. I couldn't put that shit down. There was no way I would ever watch this show week to week.
Damn. Yeah. So I'm about to add this to my list. I'm adding it to the list.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I like it. All right, bro. What you got?
So, since you talked about slice of life, I kind of want to talk about Noblesse, right?
Okay.
To me, this is high key a slice of life, like with a little bit of action, because like each episode, it's not as like action packed as you would think it is. Mm-hmm. Like it's legit like a slice of life. Mm-hmm. Like these characters are just learning how to deal with each other and to be around each other, and then they fight every once in a while. Like, you know how like people want like a fight anime, they want something to fight every week. This ain't
right. Same, yeah, like our last Crusade.
They had a moment in here in this latest episode where they played basketball, And it was kind of just interesting, like, because they're all high school students technically, even like our main super old, super omnipotent, powerful good guy.
Yeah.
Like they're playing basketball, and it was a funny moment because like he doesn't know how to play basketball because he's never played before.
Right.
So they pass him the ball, and he unleashes all this power. Like it's just like, yo, what is this aura? Everybody is looking at him because they're trying to make our other guy Taito or Taiko look good for this girl. And they pass Ray the ball. He grabs the ball, and it's just like this black aura circling in his body. And everybody's like, oh my God, what the fuck is this aura? He takes a step with the ball in his hand like this, takes another step. Ref goes traveling, and he just drops the ball and is like,
all that power just to travel.
All that power just to travel. So they literally, the other team gets the ball, they go in and dunk it. They get the ball back, and they pass it right back to him. And like they're like, get it right this time, right? Like it was like, you got it, get it right this time. And he goes with like, and he like does this like elegant, beautiful like turn.
Of course,
like you know, trying to look all handsome and shit. Mm-hmm. And the ball just goes past his face. And they said, don't dodge it elegantly. And I'm just like, yo, I like this fucking moment. Like this moment is great, bro. Like it made me feel like I was watching something just like meant to be funny, like a slice of life. And it didn't have to be about like action, but it still has that action at some point in the show. And and because ever since doing this podcast, obviously watching Slice of Life because of you, I've become a little bit more like
adherent to it.
Not even that. I would say embracing.
Open. Aha, there it is.
Like I don't mind sitting through like slice of life moments. So stuff like this in an action anime does not bother me whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And there are going to be a lot of people who think this anime is a miss, but I'm actually enjoying it. Like anything I've actually said bad about it, there are moments that's kind of like, but really like if you just want something to sit down and enjoy, it's actually pretty enjoyable. Like,
whole miss for me. Whole miss.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm not saying it's like for you. I'm just saying though, like I actually kind of sit down and enjoy it, and it's just a little entertaining something on the side.
Dope. Like I said, I enjoy hearing about it, but I can't watch it. I'll definitely listen to you talk about it though, because that shit sounds interesting, at least from your perspective.
I mean, and I think if I could honestly just be reading too much into it, like how I told you Akudama Drive was trash, and you was like, it's actually getting kind of good, and I was like, nah, that shit trash.
And it kind of went back to trash for me, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I really do think that is extremely similar to what you just talked about. What you just talked about is extremely similar to Our Last Crusade. It's fucking mostly slice of life. Like it's just continuing on with that whole the whole, I guess you can call it, political aspect of their situation between them, the Empire and the Astro Mages. Yeah. But I'm still so fucking invested, man. I don't know why. I think it's because I like the main character. The main character isn't like a fumbling, type of dude, which I always enjoy. Like slice of life characters that don't just fumble around everything. When it comes to like talking about a crush or just being a anime male shonen character in general, that whole I'm nervous around female type thing. That's why I like what's his name from Food Wars, Soma.
Yeah, because he's not like that.
Yeah, he's not like that at all. He just does this fucking thing, and I enjoy that quite a bit. That's exactly why he's probably one of my favorite main in shonen. But Our Last Crusade did get better this episode too. A lot of comedic moments. You know what I'm starting to notice too?
What's up?
I'm starting to pay attention to shows and their comedic beats and when it happened. Like the timing of it, I guess, which is even more in depth than I usually go when it comes to just story and shit. Because Jujutsu Kaisen, it just does it so fucking well. We'll talk about that in the second half of the show with spoilers, but that shit does it so well.
I mean, because at this point, it's becoming important for those shows, right?
Yeah.
You lighten up all the tension with a little bit of funny.
Yes.
And if you can keep it good through all of that, like Naruto actually did a good job at throwing in comedic beats and keeping it funny.
True. Absolutely true. That goes without saying. Before we continue on with some of the anime we watched, I do want to talk about the poll that we put up and the thing that we talked about last week about our next long form show that we're watching. We put out a poll asking, since you guys enjoyed the Bleach rewatch so much, what show would you like for us to do next? And relatively close between Facebook and Twitter, they kind of almost unanimously decided that Yu Yu Hakusho was the one that we're gonna do. To be honest, I don't remember. I do remember bits and small pieces of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
But I mean, I remember less of Yu Yu than I do of Bleach, or did of Bleach. So it's basically gonna be like brand new to me. I do remember the Dark Tournament arc because that shit was just great at that time. So I'm looking forward to rewatching that and seeing if it's as good as I remember.
If we get it, this might be hype as fuck.
Yeah, it might be hype as fuck. So speaking of that, let's discuss that. So with the way we did Bleach, we just kind of watched whatever we watched, and then Tell would ask me, "Hey, how many episodes did you watch?" And I'll tell him 607, and he'll be like, "Okay, I only watched 30." So I kind of,
he really did 607 episodes of a 400, 500 episode series. I'm like, bro, you watched the filler and then filler for a series that didn't even start yet. Come on,
oh my gosh, I kind of want to do it a little bit more structured than that. So, and it's like make it easier for everybody else to keep up with us as well. I'm kind of thinking that we should do it, and I'm trying to find this on Twitter real quick because Crystal, shout out to Crystal, one of the best thread creators of a show that you watch on Twitter. Her and Rob are immaculate at it. Where is it? She mentioned that that the show is broken up into 5 seasons, or I saw 4 on Funimation, but she said it's broken up into 5 seasons with 28 episodes. So one of the things that she suggested is doing like 14 episodes a week, which ain't bad, which I think is manageable. But I mean, for me, that's a little low. I know, Tell, that's probably perfect for you. With
it's like a season. I can do like 12 episodes a week and I'll be fired.
It's 12. You want to try to do 14 since it's 28 episodes?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so
wait, Yu Yu Hakusho is 28 episodes?
Yep, 28 episodes a season. And it's 5 seasons.
Okay, I'm about to say it's not 28 episodes.
No, definitely not. So this is the way we're going to do it. So starting this week, from the moment you're hearing this podcast, we're going to watch 14 episodes of season 1 of Yu Yu Hakusho. So if you want to join us, start there, and then we'll discuss that in our Yu Yu talk. I got to find a song in Yu Yu Hakusho, so I guess I'll listen out for some stuff to play in the background when we start talking about Yu Yu. But we're going to start off with 14 episodes of Yu Yu. So what are you expecting from this to get out of this rewatch?
I mean, we're going to see how things stack up. Like, because I remember the Dark Tournament. I remember some of the major points. I remember the beginning.
Yeah.
What I kind of normally lose like my memory on is more or less like them making it to the Dark Tournament, right? Like how they like getting to the Dark Tournament. That's kind of like where I lose the memory on.
Yeah. I remember a lot of training too.
Yeah.
That I remember. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that.
And I also I feel like I remember the training, yes, but I also don't think it was actually as much training as I remember.
Or it could be more. I don't remember. I straight up don't remember, to be honest. I think it's gonna be fun, man. Again, I don't remember shit about Yu Yu, but those few things. I'm
trying to figure out where to watch it.
Funimation, Hulu.
Let's go.
I do think it's going to be. I just can't wait to see how it holds up. And I'm gonna be honest. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm gonna tell you. If I am enjoying it, I'm gonna tell you as well. But I also want to talk about the other shows that we had on our poll, which was a little controversial. Kind of, I guess. I don't know. As far as controversial as we get. So the shows that we had in this poll was Hunter 2011, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gintama, and D Gray Man. Out of that, I as I shared on Twitter, for me personally, I kind of hope it was D Gray Man, because that's one I didn't watch at all.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really give that one a shot. I kind of should have put that up against like something else.
Well, see, here's the thing though, is that also like I remember like too much of Hunter x Hunter.
Same.
So in my opinion, I wouldn't have personally chosen like Hunter x Hunter. I would have chosen something like the original Dragon Ball and only the original Dragon Ball.
That's too much though.
Not Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no. Okay, no,
like
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Yeah, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Super, just Dragon Ball. Because Hunter x Hunter 2011 was like right there. Like I feel like I just watched that last year too.
Question for you then. Are you really interested in rewatching Dragon Ball though?
Only Dragon Ball. Because Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, I remember like the back of my hand.
Right.
But Dragon Ball, like there's some moments in there I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely.
So I wouldn't mind at some point we add Dragon Ball to the list. D Gray Man for fuck sure. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And I want to watch Gintama now.
Yep, same.
So like, are we saving all of these for
the next
long-term watches? Or
the next
I
one?
Watch a lot of this.
I know. So the next one I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it down to 3. Don't be mad at me, but I'm not gonna put Dragon Ball in there yet because I'm not ready for that.
No, I get it because it's got to be both of us ready for that. I know I can watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I can't do that one. So
I
how about
watch
this?
it on my free time.
How about this? Full Metal Brotherhood, Gintama, and then D Gray Man.
Nah, we can make Full Metal Brotherhood just a
something we do anyway. Yeah, I feel that. No, all right, we'll just do a versus. You
gotta give me a reason to watch Full Metal.
You're right about that. Me either. Me either. It's so great, man. It's so great. It's so great. I can't believe they think the Chimera arc was. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look. I was looking at that Worst Gen poll and that tournament.
Shout out to Worst Gen.
And that Attack on Titan versus Berserk one. Did you see how many people pulled up for that one poll? They got damn near 2,000 votes on that one poll by itself. I'm like, people really showed up for that one. It was like all the Attack on Titan fandom was like, we pulling up for this.
Yeah,
one.
Of course. I wouldn't have picked the Berserk one either, though, to be honest.
I mean, the thing is, though, is like, I remember watching that and I'm just like, I get it. I get why some people enjoy it, but I feel like the Attack on Titan one was
way too
placed
special.
A lot better. And I do think that the manga of Attack on Titan did it better than the anime.
Really?
But it's just more or less like the pacing. But like when you hear the words of the anime and stuff like that
shit was fucking fire.
It was like, nope.
It was bombastic.
Golden Age cannot beat this one.
Yep. No.
It might have beaten some other stuff.
And then
it wasn't beating this one.
The remake of Golden Age was, I don't know. I wasn't that impressed. It was terrible, but in a good sense.
I feel like it was terrible because of like the entirety of it. Like,
yeah, true.
How things progressed.
True.
It was like, yo, fuck.
That's too much. Yeah.
Like Griffith is not a friendly person anymore. He was the face of like greatness for a while. Like I kind of like this dude, and then
get him out of here. Get him out.
That whole did you watch the movie or did you watch like the actual series?
The series.
Because I did both and that did not feel good.
It was because of Cry, because that's his shit.
I felt disrespected.
Yeah, it was a recommendation from him. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and I watched it. I'm like, I wish I didn't. It was good. I don't know. It was a little mindless to me. I am so desensitized to a lot, and that's what I want to talk about too. That's what
I was gonna say. I did have something to talk about that because I want to say something too about desensitized.
Yeah, that's exactly what my topic was. That's crazy because the topic that I had was like, since doing this podcast, or it could just be in general. Have you become desensitized to certain things in anime that you weren't before?
Like, you mean like the violence and stuff?
Not even that. Just situations, violence, tropes, whatever the case may be.
So there are some things, right? Like, so the one thing I want to bring up for instance, is Prince Lawal on Twitter from the Blurred Mind podcast.
Hey, Blurred Mind.
He was talking about how he does not hate Shao Tucker. And I'm like, I don't see how someone couldn't hate Shao Tucker.
Mm-mm.
Because of, like, you know, he is honestly like the worst human being to exist in the anime, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it.
No,
I don't get it.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I don't get how you couldn't hate Shao Tucker.
Yeah.
I don't get how you couldn't. Like, I can, if it was just he did this to his wife or like his girlfriend or something like that. Okay, he did it to an adult. You know, he might have been trash human being in the beginning, and he did that to an adult. But he did it to his daughter, his own flesh and blood that he had with his wife that he already experimented on, and his dog. So, like, Shao Tucker is the worst human being to live. He is Satan Jr. Yeah. Now, if you talk about, like, Griffith, right? I do hate Griffith, but I understand Griffith more than I understand Shao Tucker.
Right.
For the sheer fact that Griffith was tortured. And this was his goal from the beginning, you know? Yeah. Like, he didn't raise a family. Yeah, he did create a whole family kind of environment, but that was the price of what his initial, like, goal was in the end. And anyway.
Exactly.
But then he was tortured. So they gave us that whole moment of him being tortured. And then he went for the power. He was already broken in mind and spirit anyway.
Right. Can I comment on the Shao Tucker thing real quick?
Go ahead, do your thing.
So I think what you said is absolutely right. And the reason being for it is because, as I guess good as Berserk is, I like Berserk, don't get me wrong. I just do not think, and I do think they were, but I don't think they were as developed as Shao Tucker was in Full Metal. I think the development of his character is the reason why you even hated it even more. Because why give a scumbag like that development? They did it. They knew exactly what they were doing when they were doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly why you should hate them. Like, regardless of what, and that's what Full Metal does so well. It gives just a groundedness to its characters that no other anime does. Berserk kind of did it, but again, I didn't feel it as much as I felt it in the Full Metal. And that's the difference between the Griffith for me personally. And that's when I say desensitized, because if you're not developed well as far as a character goes or a story goes in general, then I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of here. And I think that transitions perfectly into Akadama Drive.
Yeah, because I did have one more desensitized.
Yeah, go ahead. For sure.
I was going to say, like, for instance, when they introduced Old Boy and Fire Force, right? Like, it still shocked me. But, like, I felt like Akame got killed already took all my sensitivity away from that.
Yeah. He wasn't developed. He was slightly. I'm on the fence with that one, though.
He wasn't developed, but he developed our character.
Yeah, but no, okay. All right, hear me out here.
Because it didn't bother me that he got killed. Like, when he died, I was like, damn.
That's the thing. It bothered the fuck out of me because the problem. The problem is, and I guess I'm conflicting with myself here, right? Because the development was not the development we got with Shao Tucker, right? The development was just, it was placed so well. They kind of did what My Hero should have done with.
We should have known that he was about to die, though.
Should we though?
Because they literally killed 3 people before him, like. And then gave him and a little bit of backstory, and then he got his ass up out of there, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It was done so well. No, I'm conflicted, man. I'm so conflicted because yes, it was kind of like leading up to that same instance with those other, like, you know, kind of fodder characters. Those fodder characters, though, with that small development that they did have, I did feel for them. But it was just Fire Force writing and Fire Force timing and even in some aspects the comedic beat of it with the dude and the Jays. Like, it was just just done so
It felt
well.
real. Like,
yeah, it felt
that's
real.
Something you might actually think about.
Yes, man. Like these people, it was the perfect piece of dropping in. Hey, these people have a family. These people have a family, and like I said, it isn't as developed as Show Tucker was as a human being, you know, or demon or whatever the fuck you want to call it, asshole. But
He's not a demon level villain.
No, fuck no. It was still there, like where I felt something for it. I'm like, my jaw dropped. My shit was like on the ground. I'm like, when his head got cut off. Mm-hmm. And I should have expected it because you're absolutely right. And I didn't even think about this until you brought it up. We should have known because of what they did to the characters in the prior scenes.
But it did develop Juggernaut amazingly well.
Yeah.
Now, as you were talking about Akudama Drive, now I agree with a lot. I'm going to say this with Akudama Drive. One of the things they did well was like that executioner that we had passed in a previous episode. Like, I was like, yo, I figured he'd be a more reoccurring character from how, because like, yo, he was actually kind of raw.
Yeah, he was.
And then like they gave us like why the executioners come in pairs and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, he not going down like that. Like he working hard, and he was actually putting in work on all of them.
Straight up.
He just was by himself.
Yep. Akudama Drive, man. It's people really. And again, this bothered me. This made me create a whole fucking thread on Twitter about it. I saw somebody post, their thoughts on their thoughts on the season, and what they said was, watch Akudama Drive. It's so great. It's fantastic. It's one of the best this season. And then when they got to Jujutsu Kaisen, they were like, Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, it's another shonen anime. It's kind of just eh. And I got heated. I felt like like a Black Clover fanboy at that particular moment. Like I got heated. Yeah. I'm like, yo, how the fuck? Even with these 8 episodes, I guarantee you this development, the world, and all that shit that I said in the thread is 10 times better than whatever shonen is your favorite. I guarantee it. Probably not One Piece, but it's up there. It's so fucking good, man. And it pissed me off, and I had to say something. And
that's beautiful.
I couldn't hold it back.
Yo, I don't think you've ever vibe with a seasonal anime this much. Like,
no,
maybe Astro Lost in Space was the only one. Yeah. But like, other than that, like this is the first seasonal anime other than Astro that Polo is low key like all for right now. And
we're talking about new, right? We're not talking about shows of previous shows that have new seasons, right? Like Fire Force. And Fire Force was one of them too when it dropped. To be honest, I never expected to like Fire Force as much as I do now. But there's no fucking way. Even I've never been a type to either go with the grain or go against the grain. I go whatever the fuck I want to go with, And I have to say this show is legitimately special. Special. But as far as desensitization, I think I'm kind of over just the mindless meathead shit completely.
Yeah.
I'm just done with it. I can't Dragon Ball Super. I'm definitely not in the mood to watch any of that shit. I'm not in the mood to watch anything that doesn't have any progression or development or I can't do it.
No.
At least right now. It's just a mode, I guess. Mood.
Now, one of the anime that kind of makes me feel like I should be desensitized, but I'm not completely desensitized to it right now, is Higurashi. And
oh fuck.
I feel like that kind of series, right? Because it's never really full out hitting you with the BS. It's never fully hey, here's the bad stuff, right? It's consistently here's a hint at the bad stuff. Here's some pepper. Here's some salt.
Let's dive into that a little bit. Are you current now? Finally?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Are you noticing what's going on yet?
Well, so yes, but it still seems like the show itself. Not the show itself. So the town, it it's a curse in a town, right?
Mhm.
I'm not 100% sure whether it's the curse or the town working together. I feel like
this is the best.
I feel like the curse runs through people in the town, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it only runs through women is what I personally think, right? And I'm not sure if I'm right or not. But I think the curse runs through the females in the town, but like it's an actual thing because the women disappear, but the men's bodies are always found. So like I'm confused.
I love it.
But I want more details in every scenario.
I'm sorry, real quick. I start to see how you feel when I'm watching My Hero and then you're like all caught up on the shit on the manga. So like that's how I feel right now.
And you want to talk?
And I want to talk. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm here for it though. Cause I love the way you're experiencing this because you're experiencing this the way I did fucking all those years ago when it originally launched.
So. Well, also, so like when the two adults come up missing, right? Like the little girl pulls up on our main character and says basically says like, you shouldn't have done that. And you did. You should have just watched my dance. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that's going to mean for you. The fact that you did that. And these two people are missing now. And I'm surprised that his body hasn't been found. I'm just like, yo, like this little chick is not holding nothing back. She is at his neck.
At his neck.
And then the ball just come out of nowhere. And she's like, I think you should go play with them. Yep. All nice and cheerful. And I'm just like, I don't know. And the thing is that she's not the only character who's had those eyes. All of the female characters have those moments that look like shifty and shady. Mm-hmm. Right? Like the male characters seem like they're involved in the shifty and shadiness, but it appears that the town is clearly a clique, like they're together. They know something together, or they move as a unit or a mm-hmm. whole. But the women in the town are running the show, or at least the little girls. I feel like also the people in this town have never aged. Like either they're all like already dead, and they're just waiting for people who come to the town, or they just never age anymore because of the curse. I'm not sure. I'm gonna give you this, all right? And I'm so good at avoiding spoilers because you're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" There is a bigger subset within the subset. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like there's that Fire Force type thing going on mm-hmm. within this. That I'm sure you notice, but you ain't realize you notice. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. Okay. I figured because they keep dropping hints though, right? Like consistently. They're dropping them, boys. What's a big hint that you may notice? Oh, please say it. I hope you say it. A big hint that I noticed? Yeah, that you because there's a hint. There's something that shows up in this show a lot. Fuck. Food, the eating, the twin sisters, nope. Or the fucking the school, mm-mm. Or I don't know. It's everything. Yeah, it's a lot. It's also all those are definitely that damn deity. It's all kind of shit, bro. You're there, but you're not there. It's a lot of hints. I just don't know exactly where. Yeah, it's the calendar. The calendar? Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that's true because they have time frames. Yep. You're right. You're right as hell. Yep. So just pay attention to the calendar. It's it's so good. It's good. It's real good. This every time after I realized what this was, and then I'm like, wait, didn't I see this shit already? And I went back and watched it. For one, the old one doesn't look not nearly as fucking good as this one. Like this shit looks mm-hmm. beautiful. The old one, I can't believe I watched that and enjoyed it as much as I did because I was just too enthralled with the story. But yeah, it's fantastic. And the way they're doing it, oh man, it's special. I think you're gonna love this shit by the end. This might become your favorite horror. I mean, I need a new horror. But you know how like So you know how I liked Steins Gate? Like it took like 8 episodes of the Steins Gate. So I was like, this is that heat.
Yeah,
I hope that's what this is. I hope that like I'm 8 episodes in and I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah, I think so. Because again, this is another one for me where I was watching, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And then stuff happens and you're like, oh, you know, it's one of those moments. So I love it, man. I just love it so much. This is watching you fucking break this shit down is the most entertaining shit. I think a part of this, because it's like you're there, but you don't know you're there yet. And when you get there, you're gonna be like, oh, I was there. And I'm like, oh,
that's what it is.
yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy. I love the show. And I love this fucking remake. It's like I said, it's gorgeous. There's some shots that I just want to hang on my wall. Like when
and then you wake up and you be like, why is this little girl hanging over my face with her eyes glowing red?
I was just about to say, like when
I'm just like, the girl, they killed somebody already died.
Like what?
But like
Minon,
they didn't die.
Yeah, Minon is the one with the long green ponytail. When she was shaking the ladder, it was that moment with her eyes, and I'm just like, this shit looks fucking dope.
But she died, but she didn't die.
Yeah, you're there, but you're not there.
They did.
Are they?
They already did. I don't know. they this is like the world of spirits, and they're taking the spirits away already. I don't know, bro.
Just pay attention to the calendar.
They did.
The calendar.
They did as hell.
I love it. This is great. All right, shit. Let's get into some. Or what's up?
Oh no, you're right. It's time to get into that. The Twitter questions.
Yeah, you already know. Okay, so for one, I should have prefaced this at the beginning of the show. We got one that's a big question, I think, that me and Tel wanted to dive deep into, but it's kind of hard to dive deep into it without it being just spoilers all over the place, right? So it's one from our homie. Let me go to his Twitter, get his proper Twitter handle, because I like to make sure I get that right now. Yeah, it's from the homie Quadre, aka Saphir. He says, I need honest answers on what the fuck is going on with Fire Force this season. It feels a little bit random, but it's good and dark. Also, great world building. We're gonna touch on that after the break. Okay, right after our break, I think we're gonna dive right into that one.
Right into it, because I'm ready to.
We're gonna go full spoilers into that one. So stick around for that, because we got a lot to say about that particular question. All right, so one of the questions I want to get to, a nice quick one from @_RobJ. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes are homemade. I do love Belgian waffles though, with syrup with a little hot sauce in them.
Yeah, I'm waffles all the way. I like putting my scrambled eggs inside of my waffles and cutting them and eat them up like that. That's
that sounds like a smack.
Yeah, it does. It really, really do. Everybody commenting on that Jujutsu Kaisen thread. It was pretty funny. Okay, from Skylar Steve. This one is not to stump you, but it just has me wondering. You are now selected to be chosen one to pick the next anime adaptation for ongoing anime. What is the anime world and what is the anime world going to watch based off your choice? This one's easy for me.
Okay.
Yozakura Family, man. That's still one I need to continue. Yeah, Mission Yozakura Family is still one I need to continue to read, because that was one that I actually picked up because of this podcast. And I enjoyed it, man. And I feel like it'll be wonderful.
It was a slice of life moment.
Yep.
So currently, I'm gonna say one that I know Steve would say, Chainsaw Man, fucking great. I agree with Mission Yozakura Family. Phantom Seer right now, really good. I guess if I had to choose one, I'm gonna say the one that I would always say. Give me Twin Star Exorcist properly.
Let's go.
Please.
Let's go.
Anybody.
There
I don't
has
even care at this point. Just give me the proper story. I don't even care if it's animated like Hamtaro.
there has
Give
to
me
be
the proper
a
story.
Twin Star Exorcist reference inside of the podcast. Just know that, yo.
So sorry. Look, I'm so
Don't apologize,
sorry.
bro. Don't apologize. Fucking, it has to. You
Look,
have the right, and I agree with that right.
When the homies over at Black Heroes said they read it and like, yo, this is fire, I was like, I knew I was validated.
Yeah.
I knew I was like, I just needed someone else to read it and see the same thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Because like everybody's sleeping on it. It's a good slice of life feeling. It's a good action feeling.
I love it. I just love it.
You already knew I was gonna say it, but it is what it is.
And you deserve it. We got another one from at _ Rob J. He said, hopefully it isn't too late for questions. I got one more. What are some of your favorite non-anime shows? 2 or 3 randomly just off the dome. Now let's not do cartoons.
I'm not saying no cartoons.
Okay, good. I love The Flash, the CW Flash. I enjoyed that show for what it's worth. Shit, off the dome. I don't watch a lot of TV, so this is very, very hard for me.
Me neither. I only watch anime, really.
I know, same.
I have 2 shows, and I literally was just talking about this earlier today. My 2 favorite like TV shows of all time: The Haunting of Hill House, because it was a cinematic masterpiece.
I still gotta watch that.
It was beautiful, and it just camera work alone, not even adding in the story. Camera work alone was beautiful. And then The Good Place. The Good Place is by far like the best like character development in any TV show I think I've ever watched in my life.
I enjoyed as crazy as it sound. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Fuck, bro. All right, I ain't got it. It's gone. If I think of it, Rob, I'll tweet you, bro. Lost.
It walked away. It was like
it was there. It just fucking dipped out. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm over it. Oh man. Oh, Game of Thrones. Even though it ended shittily.
Okay, yeah. I mean, for me, it didn't end that bad because I just kind of benched the whole thing. But I guess I do see why it wasn't an enjoyable ending. But I feel like I saw that coming from season 3.
If you binged it though, you didn't notice the dip in writing.
Yeah. As soon as Bran was like, "This is who I am," I was like, "He gonna be the fucking king."
Yeah,
it's gonna be him.
That was awful.
It's irritating.
All right, what do you think the green goo is? Oh, sorry, Philip J. Woodward, the voice. He writes in and sends us a picture of a tweet from the Daily Mail. And it says a huge sinkable hole with glowing green liquid oozing out of it found in Toronto, which is pretty scary. But he says, what do you think the green goo is? And what is your anime or manga pitch on what it would do to your main character or the world?
I think it's Slimer from Ghostbusters. The big green ghost.
Yep.
Or is Danny Phantom. If this is my anime world though, because I love animals so much, it would do low key like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things and turn animals into like mutants. And this would be in the middle of New York, right? And you know how there's that myth that there's like gators or whatever in New York sewers or whatever. Yeah. There'd be like a crocodile or a gator in the sewer, and then a shark, and then a rat. And they would be this not good fighting. They'd be like vigilantes, but like they do bad stuff because they're still animals and they don't know the difference of like good and bad. They just don't like people getting hurt, I guess.
I'm gonna keep it G real with you. I was gonna say something along those lines, but to be the contrarian, to go the completely opposite of what Tell just did, and my anime is gonna be ecchi. It's gonna eat clothing from everybody, not just the women, men, women, binary, whatever you want to be. It's gonna eat your clothing if you get near it. But after your clothes is gone, you now have superpowers.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Ding. Yep. But if you put clothes back on, you lose the powers.
Your powers stop working when your clothes are on. Yeah.
That's
I'm just trying to be different, you know. That's it. I'm just
That is good. Oh man, that is funny. Oh, like a hentai.
it's gonna be a hilarious ass comedy hentai.
This is like prison school, but like
I'm gonna need y'all to stop acting like y'all don't put H in front of y'all anime.tv and and fuck with me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. If y'all haven't done that, do it, but don't do it around anybody like your kids or your moms or your dads or whatever.
do it on your wife.
Don't do that. Well, you probably can, but no, not everybody can do that. All right. You want to take this a quick break or get to know my check waifu, then get to go to the break?
Yeah.
Let's do that. All right.
We got 102 questions still because I don't think we adjusted the number.
I did. I deleted the ones. So 101. For those of you that don't know, get to know Mike Check Waifu. Waifu is a segment we do right before we go into break, where we roll a random number, and ask a question associated with that random number, and then we both answer it. So today's is Tell turn to roll a random number generator, and me ask the question. What you got?
10.
10 is one we already answered.
All right. Roll that bit again. 80.
That is. Here it is. What's the longest you've gone without sleep?
My wife went to boot camp. I went I think it was 56 hours I counted without sleep.
Jesus Christ. Why am I saying that like I'm not close? It was a full 48 hours. Like a full 48, like straight.
It definitely would have been more though, because don't nobody just stay awake for 48 exact hours though. So you might have been 49, 50.
Exactly. Or it could have even been a little less. Regardless, it was 2 days.
Yeah, I know my 56 is estimating because I know when she went to boot camp, I didn't work that next day, and then I went to work the next day, and then I went to work the next day, and I went to sleep after that.
Yeah, I think mine was like a Black Friday year, and I just didn't go to sleep because I was wired off of too many energy drinks from stand up, and then I did a 24-hour stream.
That sounds horrible.
It was terrible.
Horrible for your health.
Yeah, it was awful. I never did it again. Yeah, great question. So this week, the song is brought to you by Auracane. Auracane we played him before. He just dropped a new song called Down Low. It's on Spotify. His links will be in the show notes. Again, Rob J, I'm going to need a review of this song as well. Even though you didn't give us a review of the last song. But shout out to Auracane for letting us use his joints. He reached out at contact@mikecheckWaifu.com, just like you can, and drop your lo-fi joints. Or you can ask really long form questions there if you like. We'll read them on the show. Yeah, we'll be right back after these. And welcome back to Mic Check Waifu. Brought to you by Don'tTalkShop.com. Make sure you go to Don'tTalkShop.com. Use offer code Waifu15 to save on your entire cart. So going back to a question really quick, because this is going to lead right into our spoiler talk of the two shows that we discuss in full spoilers. So if you're not caught up to episode 21 of Fire Force and episode 8 of Jujutsu Kaisen, or is it 22? Fire Force. Shit.
Episode 22 is next episode. So right now we're on 21. So
yeah, 21 of Fire Force and episode 8 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Turn off the podcast and come back after you watch those episodes. But we're going to go right into our question from Saphir talking about, he says, sorry, I went back to my personal Twitter. He says, I'm going to need to know what the hell is going on in Fire Force because I feel like just random stuff is happening. But it's good and dark and also great world building. Now, with that question, you said you had something you wanted to say about it. So I'm going to let you start us off.
All right. So here's my thing. You can't start off a conversation about Fire Force like, what the fuck is going on, right? And here's my only issue with that, because I do get that there are things that can be missed. But when you look at what was already set, like how they set the tone in season 1, all they have done is reveal more and more in literally like every episode. And if they didn't reveal something in one episode, it's just to cool down from all the shit they just revealed and then reveal something more in the episode after the cooldown. We literally got why the Amaterasu is a thing in this season. What is inside of Materasu. We went to like a whole other country to figure that out. Saw tons of infernals. We found out animals can have, Fire Force abilities and animals can be infernals. We found out that Joker is no longer a bad guy, but like more like an anti-hero / vigilante who is trying to figure out the truth. We found out like, and this is stuff that didn't just happen. Like this stuff was like progressively, like it went in this like almost like perfect circle of like, we figured out like we need to go to somewhere else to figure out what's happening next. We figure out what's happening next. We get back to our country, relay the information. Our guy, what's the smart guy's name again? Goodness gracious, I'm sorry. Licked finds out the information. He relays the information. Joker goes and grabs Kenimaru, and they go and break in, find out even more information from fucking. Here we go. I was gonna say Ainz, but it's not Ainz Al Ghul. It's but they break in and find out from the first captain, Leonard Burns. Find out that information. As soon as they find out that information, we get basically a story into there's a new pillar. We got 2 new pillars in this.
Yeah, so So with the way you describe that, I can kind of understand why he feel like it's random, right? Because it just feel like a bunch of pieces, but they all correlate, like you were just saying, they all correlate in this fucking overarching story. The overarching story of Fire Force is what is the goal of the evangelist. The goal of the evangelist is to collect pillars to then create another great cataclysm and restart the world, essentially, which is you kind of vibe with in a weird kind of sense because of the way it's all structured. But obviously you don't want that to happen because it's destroying the world that they have built now. That is the entire goal of this show. Stop the evangelist from destroying the world. Okay. Now, the way it's done, the way it's told, the way it's written is what makes it so special because, like you said, it's structured in the way it reveals information on pieces of how that is exposed. For instance, when you started talking about the Joker thing, that is when I'm like, that's a big deal. We know Joker from season 1. Joker to
And
us,
we thought he was the bad guy.
the main bad guy the entire fucking time. It was before we knew what the evangelist was. It was before we even knew what exactly was going on in the world. Just like our main character, Shinra. Shinra had no fucking idea. It was all revealed to him, and it's being revealed to him in this particular, Fire Force company that was created to investigate this particular situation.
And I would even like to say, Okubo tried to play us on Joker big time, right? Because when we were first introduced into Joker, what did he do? He showed us right before, like, Joker was smoking, and you see the smoke from his cigarette, and then you see the ash that was created when the insect gets put inside of a person to make the inferno.
Yep.
And he played us. He legit played us, made us think that Joker was really the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. It's great storytelling. Everything is connected. Like, there's no, like, the downtime is just leading to where the story is progressing to next. And they kind of give you that whole, like, layout before they go there. There's never a moment where you don't necessarily know what's happening next, because they explain it either in transit or, like, while it's happening, or, they explain it the entire time.
And I think in the most structured way possible. Like, they literally say from the start of season 1, obviously from where it ended in season 2, they know what the evangelist's goal is now. Now they just need to no, they didn't quite know exactly what it was. They knew what they were, quote unquote, doing, and that was just creating infernos. Why they were creating infernos, we figured out at the beginning of season 2 when they go into mainland. I guess it was essentially mainland China, but to then learn about the Amaterasu. When they learned about the Amaterasu, they also figure out that the religion that they believed in was backed or essentially created by the evangelists. So now there's this whole mental aspect of it, which kind of, I can see how you may feel it's random, but it's a part of that world that we are just naturally progressing through and figuring out, like, with our main character, because they're doing that just like we talked about last week with storytelling. They're doing that thing to where we don't know anything until our main character knows it. Again, they did drop little hints of stuff, but again, we didn't understand what the fuck was going on until Shinra knew.
And the cool thing is that, like you said, what was said in the tweet was that great world building. Yeah. That's really the only part to pay attention to, because the world building is what's getting you to the next level in almost all of these scenarios that we're talking about. Everything that's going on is information about the world. Like, we don't know 100% still. Like, we know the evangelists want to create the great cataclysm. We've seen the white clad, but we haven't actually seen the evangelist itself, like take, like, steps in front of us other than inside of the Amaterasu. We don't even know what the entirety of it entails.
It's just it's so crazy when you think about it, right? You think about it, it's one simple story. The evangelist wants to destroy the world. Every shonen anime has essentially an antagonist with that particular goal in mind. It's all about the journey and getting to that makes the show, that makes the anime what it is. Like, again, there's people that call Fire Force whatever they want to call Fire Force. I remember so many people last year talking about it's boring and slow, and that always got under my skin because of how well the storytelling is and is being done. But this makes me just want to watch Soul Eater.
And I have a video coming out. It's in the process of being edited.
It's going to be on our Patreon. So patreon.com/MikeCheckWaifu.
Right. If you're a Patreon subscriber, it will be there for you. Coming this week.
Hey, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Not even
I'm halfway done with editing the video. I'm just doing, like, the extra perks and stuff like that.
It's going to light a fire under my ass to get the video done myself, so we can get that extra content that we promised y'all to put up. But I hope that answers your question, man. There's so much. It's not necessarily random. I get how you can say that, because it kind of I can't even agree with you and say that it feels random, because it doesn't. But I see why you would say that, because there's a lot of it. And it kind of
process, yeah.
It almost kind of feel like jumping around, but that jumping around always leads to something else, because that information that Joker and Benimaru got was given to Licht, and Licht gave that to the Eighth. And again, Eighth is the company that investigates this particular stuff.
Or the entire fire force.
And the entire fire force in itself, which they end up determining that it's not the entire fire force now. They know now it's, the Holy Temple, which is their whole entire religion. So it's so good, man. It's so good. I can break down Fire Force for fucking days, and just its greatness. The ranking we gave Fire Force on our review is so accurate, man. That's what, not to fucking toot my own horn, but I'm gonna toot our own horn. I think our review scale is somewhat perfect. Unless, somebody likes B-Star a little bit too much, but it's so perfect for shit like this, because it just encompasses everything that we watched the video version to see Tailspace just said that, but it just encompasses everything that we feel about shows like this and why we feel this way. And it just works well. It just works well. Speaking of a review, shout out to Project Manga and Knox, because as soon as this next one we're going to talk about is over, we're going to have him on the show to help us review Jujutsu Kaisen, because again, the timeline, even before the show came out, he was singing these praises like more and higher than anybody else. Episode 8 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, it didn't miss, man.
So
for me,
Jujutsu Kaisen, they introduce us to some new characters in this episode too, and they actually like mad interesting characters.
Yes, man. The twin sister of Mai, or Maki. No, it's Maki. The twin sister of Maki is Mai.
Yeah,
right.
But like the characters are interesting. We know that like, one of the sisters, she does not have any cursed power at all, or no control over cursed power. So she has to use like cursed items, like the glasses and the weapons and whatnot. The other sister, she can only imbue items with cursed power. So she can't do anything super special. She can't use cursed techniques or anything like that. She uses the gun that she imbues with cursed power to do damage, right?
Right.
So they have their limitations. Their ambitions are actually given to us. They want to basically prove their family wrong, that they can be sorcerers themselves and be high-ranking sorcerers at that. They're tired of being looked down on. We have, what was his name? Todo? I can't remember the name. Big muscle-bound boy pulled up. Yeah, Io Todo pulled up on Megumi and was like, what kind of girls do you like, bro?
So let's rewind a little bit real quick, though. Let's rewind a little bit. What I love about this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen is how they go back to our other main characters, right? Like the transition from sticking with our main character, which was what they should have done. Like, because I hate when like shows like this go to, the side characters first and then try to develop that and then go back to the main character. I think the order and the pacing in which they did this was perfect, because then I was like, after seeing the ending, the quote unquote light climax of what our guy is going through and what he's working on now for that particular month, I'm glad to go to these characters to see that this tournament is coming up and it's about to be a big fucking deal. Because now you got to deal with these motherfuckers. And the way he responds to the question you were just bringing up about, what kind of girls do you like, was so interesting. And the way he explained why he asked that is so fucking creative and funny. And it goes into that comedic beat part that I was talking about earlier in the show. Cause it just fits, man. It always fits and falls into place so well.
What kind of girls you like, Paulo?
Well, man.
Tall with a big ass?
Yeah. Not really, but
That's what Toto said.
That's what Toto said. Yeah. And that fight they had, dude, for that 30 seconds it was?
Yo, that was
beautiful,
great.
Man. What are you doing, Mappa? What are you doing?
It also like scared me to see like Megumi be like, like I don't know if you noticed it, but Mappa is doing a great job with the animation.
Yeah.
But
consistent.
Like when Megumi was like, I guess I'll show you, his eyes do this like look around thing. Yep. And
the
he's
model,
like, I guess I'll show you. And I'm just like, it's about to be a wrap for you, boy. But then, they show up and was like, oh no, we can't have this fight. I was ready.
The one thing that slightly, man, dude, fuck, when the other 30 years came in and stopped the fight, that shit was wonderful. When the dude said something else other than rice ball ingredients, I'm like, oh my god, is it rice ball? Yeah,
stop moving.
Yeah, stop moving.
He was like, whoa, okay, he got that kind of power.
The way he stopped and the sound it made when he stopped was great. What is kind of, I guess, the only gripe, right, I have with this episode is, or with the show in general, is why is the other main character, the Sasuke acting dude, what's his name? Megumi. Why does he seem to always get his ass whooped?
I think, and here's my thing, is I think that like he was trying to hold back, right? And that's the reason that kind of made this is what made me feel hype about it. Is that like after he fought Sukuna, in Eiji's body, not Eiji's body, and Yuji's body, like Megumi kind of realized like, well, maybe I do have something more to myself, right?
Right.
Like when he said, "I'll show you," it wasn't like that. Didn't seem like he was boasting. It was like, "All right, bro, I can handle you."
Yeah, it definitely didn't seem empty for sure. You're right about that.
Yeah. So like to me, like, I get him getting handled, like he is getting his ass whooped. A lot. But like we know, first of all, he's not a hand-to-hand fighter. He can fight hand-to-hand.
Right.
But he's not a hand-to-hand fighter. And then he's a first year fighting a third year.
Right.
Who was able to take down a special grade curse.
Multiple special grade curse.
Well, he took down one special grade curse and 5 first grade curses.
Okay, they said, okay, it was first grade. My fault.
So like, that means dude is powerful, and he said he doesn't use curse techniques unless it's a special grade.
Yep.
So he's beating first grades in just straight hands, like.
Yep.
So that means he's tough, but like Megumi at that moment felt like he could handle him, and it scared me. I was like, "Yo, what do you have, bro?" Like,
I can't wait to see it.
Because to me, I get what you mean about him getting beat, but that's what I was saying. It's like
again, it was a nitpick. It's not It's not a big deal.
Like I will take my character getting his ass beat if it means that he was just holding back because he does have something that's a little too powerful.
Right.
We don't know that yet. Like let's say we get 14 more episodes in, and he feels that power and it's not that great, and we just like
Yeah, I mean they've been dropping hints like you said with this Sukuna fight. Like when he was about to go off and then he's like, you know what, this is not what I'm supposed to do. This is not the answer to this question to bring back Yuji. So this is what I'm gonna do. He stops his curse power or his curse aura that he had. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He has more to him that we haven't seen yet. And then this was a month later, so obviously he has more to him. They've been doing training, so we haven't seen it yet. I'm just looking forward to seeing it. And like I said, it was a small nitpick. It doesn't encompass my feelings on the show because I think this is probably one of the greatest new shows this year.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm trying to think what new shows came out this year that's this good.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing that's been this good has been repeating shows like ReZero.
Exactly. Or Sword Art even was real good. But
yeah, Sword Art was really good this year. Fire Force, obviously.
Mm-hmm. But no, new shows, this is definitely the top.
What did you think about that ending when they went and showed like a month later?
I wish I would have saw more.
Well, it was weird, right? So we know, oh boy, he's like, hey, was that you? The cursed dude looks like a human.
Yep.
But he's not a human. And he said, oh, you can see me.
Yep.
So this implies either we're about to have a fourth body.
Yep.
Or he about to be out here super powered up.
Yeah, and he's about to be a bad, like he could be somebody that gets taken by this guy, and I don't know. I can't wait to see what's going on. Tower Guy was pretty good, but it's not as good as this.
Yeah, no, Tower Guy was pretty good. It's not this good, though.
Yeah, it's not this good.
I think that the next season 2 and season 3 of Tower of God will be this good.
True. Yeah. All right, man. I think that's a wrap.
So we just finished talking about Jujutsu Kaisen and all of its greatness, making me getting his tail whipped, but we think there's more to him. Fire Force and all the lines it lays for you and how great the story is. More about that coming soon. Then we came back from our break with Auracane Down Low. Appreciate that song. Send it to Mic Check Waifu or at contact Mic Check Waifu. Then we also have what's the longest you've gone without sleeping? That was the question for Get to Know Mic Check Waifu. We had our Twitter questions. Don't forget, shoot those questions every Sunday before we record. We also talked about Higurashi. And, well, I'm talking about Higurashi because Polo already watched it. We were looking at the calendar. We're going to be watching the calendar every time from now on Higurashi. I'm about to go back and rewatch the episode because Polo said something about it. Also, Akudama Drive. Previous episode was probably better than this current episode. But this show actually isn't as bad as I thought. Just don't say it's better than Jujutsu Kaisen because then you tripping.
You straight tripping.
Polo has been desensitized. Just so y'all know. He no longer feels anything when it comes to death in anime because he's so
just meathead.
I'm just joking. Just meathead anime. But desensitized. Have you been desensitized by anime in any way, shape, or form? Let us know. Yu Yu Hakusho won our poll, so we will be watching 14 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho every week until it's completed, and then we'll be talking about it on the podcast here. Polo talked about Our Last Crusade and its comedic beats, how it's more like a slice of life with some action here and there, but also the comedic beats are placed properly to make you actually enjoy it and laugh. I also said how Noblesse seems like a slice of life with like those same comedic beats. Probably not as good as Our Last Crusade, but I do enjoy it, and then the action also is pretty great.
Yeah.
Polo's watching Anohana, the flower we saw that day. I'm gonna have to watch that with my wife.
Please do, man. Please
my
do.
Homegrown waifu and see what it's really hitting for. And Polo's also watching Strike the Blood.
I finished season 2, finished season 1. I'm on season 3 right now. I'm gonna get that done. All right. I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social media is at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu on Instagram. And as always, Mic check.
Check.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu.